President Xi Jinping has started reorganizing the military again after the major purge. He has promoted and appointed 2 generals to the highest rank in the Chinese military. Today, let's take a closer look at this. Let's get right into it, although we have covered this in a previous video. Last year, the Chinese military underwent a major purge. On January 24th of this year, Zhang Yisa and Yu Zhenyan were reportedly purged for serious violations of party discipline and bribery. A major purge is currently happening in the Chinese military. He Wei, the military's 3rd most powerful figure, and Mao, former head of the Central Military Commission's Political Work Department, were expelled from the party and military for major job-related crimes and serious violations of party discipline, as officially announced. Especially since the anti-corruption purge of the rocket force began in earnest in 2023, high-ranking generals in the Chinese military have been brought down one after another. In 2022, serious corruption issues and internal leaks of confidential information were revealed in the rocket force, which Chairman Xi Jinping had strategically focused on, and since then, those responsible have been consecutively targeted for purges. Since the rocket force is the core organization that operates China's nuclear and long-range missile capabilities, the corruption and allegations of leaked secrets that occurred there have caused a significant shock to the Chinese leadership. Xi Jinping, focused on military modernization, faced issues in his most trusted organization soon after the purge spread from the rocket force to the whole military. Even former Defense Minister Li Shangfu, responsible for advanced weapons, was purged in 2024, which was also shocking. According to current reports, since Xi Jinping came to power in 2012, more than 110 Chinese military generals have been purged. If this is just the number for generals, the total purged officers, including field and company grade, likely reaches several hundred. This is no joke, since Xi Jinping came to power, as many as 37 full generals have been ousted. These are the highest-ranking officers, and 37 of them have been purged. Of those, 29 were purged after October 2022. According to a recent report by the Wall Street Journal, over the past 2 years, more than 50 high-ranking military officers and defense industry executives have been purged. This scale of purge is said to be something rarely seen since the era of Mao Zedong. With simultaneous replacements in military and defense industry leadership, personnel gaps and command changes are occurring in China's military. Chairman Xi Jinping's purge is further centralizing military power under him. Looking at the Central Military Commission, which is the highest leadership body of the Chinese military, the changes are even more evident. Originally, the Central Military Commission is composed of 7 members and is responsible for making major military decisions. Due to successive purges, only Chairman Xi Jinping and Vice Chairman Jiang Shengmin remain. Many positions are vacant or former members have been ousted, disrupting the usual structure. This indicates a major reorganization in the Chinese military leadership. Recently, Chairman Xi Jinping has been reorganizing the military. It's worth examining Zhang Shuguan and Wang Gang, both newly promoted to general. General Zhang Shuguan, born in 1964, is on the 20th Central Committee and is seen as a close associate of Vice Chairman Jiang Shengmin. He has long worked in military discipline inspection. This resembles Vice Chairman Jiang Shengmin's personnel pattern from 10 years ago. Commander Wang Gang, for example, is a former elite pilot from the Air Force. Currently, commander positions for the Army, Navy, Air Force, and Rocket Force in China's military are vacant, but the Air Force commander was appointed first. This suggests China is focusing on strengthening its Air Force. With this promotion, the number of generals rose from 4 to 6, with 3 from the Air Force. Yang Jibin, Hong Songhyun, and Wang Gang are from the Air Force. Jiang Shengmin is with the Rocket Force, Dong Jin with the Navy, and Zhang Sugwan with the Army. Currently, President Xi Jinping is effectively continuing to eliminate forces that could pose a threat to his power. The Wall Street Journal reports that President Xi Jinping has purged a large number of high-ranking party and military officials, and that the scale of this purge is the largest since 1976, especially since his 3rd term began in 2022. The pace of these purges has accelerated even more. Within 6 months, 3 current Politburo members, the Chinese Communist Party's top decision-makers, have been ousted consecutively. The purge affected the ministers of defense, foreign affairs, and agriculture, plus military commanders, local leaders, financial regulators, top officials, and state enterprise executives. Some believe this is an attempt to reorganize the power base, as the purge now affects the party, government, and state-owned enterprises, not just the military. Control within the party is also tightening. Last year, the Chinese Communist Party disciplined a record 1 million members. The Central Commission for Discipline Inspection, the party's top watchdog, monitors nearly 100 million members and has strong authority over discipline and loyalty. Not only party officials, but also local organizations are subject to regular inspections and investigations, and there are evaluations that the atmosphere of monitoring and reporting on each other within the party has become even stronger. Some analysts say even top officials struggled to voice open opposition in this atmosphere. The idolization of Chairman Xi Jinping as an individual has also become greater than before.
Has been greatly strengthened.
In 2018, Xi Jinping's thought on socialism with Chinese characteristics for a new era was added to China's constitution, marking the first time since Mao Zedong that a supreme leader's name appeared in a constitutional ideology. New Communist Party members must be educated in Xi Jinping thought even before joining the party, and after joining, they are required to regularly participate in related study and education. Propaganda Scope, which studies Chinese state-run media, recently noted a significant rise in state media calling Xi Jinping the leader of the people. Wu Gang, a senior fellow at the Asia Society Policy Institute in the US, said Stalin, Mao Zedong, and Xi Jinping share a tendency to make ruthless decisions when consolidating power and readily use harsh purges and control for political gain. President Xi Jinping continues to show ambitions to unify Taiwan, doesn't he? He has again expressed that determination in public speeches. In his speech at the July 1st ceremony marking the 105th anniversary of the founding of the Chinese Communist Party, he stated that separatist forces seeking Taiwan's independence must be resolutely struck down, interference by external forces must be opposed, and the drive for national reunification must be firmly pursued. He said resolving the Taiwan issue and achieving national reunification is our party's unwavering mission and the wish of all Chinese people. He also stressed the One China principle, saying mainland China, Taiwan, Hong Kong, and Macau are inseparable.
That's right.
Regarding Chairman Xi Jinping's actions, diplomatic expert Professor Hal Brands of Johns Hopkins University said that a Taiwan crisis is coming and Chairman Xi Jinping may not back down. He added that ominous things are happening in the Pacific, but the United States is not at all
prepared. He also revealed.
Professor Hal Brands of Johns Hopkins University said this month the Chinese Coast Guard approached 3 ships in international waters near eastern Taiwan, demanding their origin and destination. He added that China claims the right to monitor traffic near Taiwan.
Within the next one.
He also analyzed that this could be a sign of a crisis that may occur within the next 1 or 2 years. So even in the eastern region of Taiwan, China is dispatching forces and conducting law enforcement activities. They previously operated only in the Taiwan Strait or South China Sea. But the biggest problem is that they've expanded their range to the eastern region of Taiwan and are now conducting law enforcement activities there. Spokesperson Zhang Ro of the Coast Guard said these activities aim to maintain order at sea and protect the rights of Chinese fishermen, including those from Taiwan. He also stated that the China Coast Guard will continue to strengthen law enforcement patrols in its jurisdictional waters and will firmly safeguard the nation's territory, territorial sovereignty, and maritime rights and interests. From Taiwan's perspective, this already feels very threatening. The Taiwanese government says it will take all necessary steps to forcibly expel Chinese vessels engaging in harassment in its territorial waters. China shows no signs of stopping. Recently, with internal military reorganization, maritime pressure on Taiwan has kept rising. Wu Jiaoxi, the Secretary General of Taiwan's National Security Council, immediately revealed the current status of Chinese military maritime deployments through his social media account on X, stating that the number of Chinese Navy and Coast Guard vessels operating near the First Island chain has surpassed 110, reaching an all-time high. The released data shows that Chinese vessels are widely deployed across the Yellow Sea, East China Sea, and South China Sea. In particular, it was confirmed that their forces are concentrated in the waters surrounding Taiwan and in the area stretching from Kyushu in Japan through Okinawa to the Philippines. Because this area is a crucial route for US and allied forces during contingencies, the international community is watching developments closely. Recently, China has sent both its Navy and Coast Guard on continued law enforcement patrols in eastern waters near Taiwan. There have also been reports of attempts to radio civilian ships traveling to and from Taiwan or to check their routes and destinations, and China claims these are normal law enforcement activities. The Taiwanese government firmly opposes this, stating China has no jurisdiction over these waters and calling such actions violations of international law. The United States, United Kingdom, France, Germany, and others have voiced concern that these actions could threaten regional stability. Experts are closely monitoring these developments. Professor Yaya Oihan of St. Thomas University in the United States analyzed that China is likely aiming to test the United States' will to defend the First Island chain. He said that there is an intention to continuously check at what point the US military deploys its forces, how fast they respond, and how they cooperate with their allies. There is also analysis that China wants to signal neighbors like Japan, Taiwan, and the Philippines that it can expand maritime control at any time. Repeated actions are raising the risk of military tension around Taiwan and the Western Pacific.